Hello everybody and welcome again. If you have been following my channel, you remember the broken T221. It smells like cigarette. When you power it on, it's like a bar. The screen is full of residue from also cigarettes, and it just looks bad. So I got so upset and traumatized that I sold the dual link DVI adapter that used to be on the back here. And I sold the power supply to one of the sellers from which I bought the other T221 from, as he needed one to make a full display and be able to sell it. So this one will stay for spares, and I'll take it apart to show you how it looks like. I have the engineering notes with me, and I should be able to point out what each component is and what it does. So let's get started. Foi mal, galera. So I honestly don't know where to start from. I should have a maintenance manual somewhere, but I cannot find it. The frame may not survive the process. I will remove initially these 4 screws here, and that should release the front part of the bezel. First I'm going to take the screws out. Come. Oh, we'll have to turn it around. Nossa. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna survive this. So it looks like the impact during transportation bent the frame, and now I may not be able to unscrew this without destroying my screwdriver. So let me just try once again. And if it doesn't go, I will leave it as it is. Oh, it's coming. Let's try to lift it. It should get off the frame now, hopefully. Yeah, you gotta love sellers who can't properly pack things. Yep. It's falling apart like an eggshell. Okay. It looks like there is something still holding it on the bottom. Aha! Okay, I know why. What? There's still something here. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay, it seems to me that I need to take the foot out first, and that's gonna make handling the monitor really difficult. But I have to try it, and the foot is also bent, so I hope the monitor has not turned itself totally sealed by power of, you know, the pressure of the bent metal and so on. Let's see. I found 2 screws here, so let's just take them out. Now hopefully the frame will come out. And it did. So what do we have here? So here we have the first cooling fan. It seems to be a standard computer controllable computer fan, so in case the monitor goes south, you probably can replace this. The other one I had that I bought for 500 euros and sold for 1 on eBay, but the other one I had was modified and didn't have the fan, so probably the person just short-circuited this, or I don't really know how they do this to, you know, remove the fans. You can hear the plastic falling apart, it's fantastic. And the fans are connected here, and there are ribbon cards, 4 ribbon cards, one to control probably, not ribbon cards, ribbon cables, and each one of them probably drives 1/4 of the display. The second fan, and it's disgusting. Really, I might take the ViewSonic apart, the one I still use, and have a look on the fans, but this is just too bad, and it's black. It's really like cigarette shit. There is a ribbon cable here that just also got disconnected. No, it's still connected to the board, and that is probably the display panel, the controls, and the input board here. Here you can see something interesting. The very thin plastic bezel screw also holds the whole display assembly together, so there is nothing else in between, which means I'm gonna have to remove the ribbon cable here, this one that connects to the controls, the power button, the brightness control, and the menu button in front of the screen. So let's begin by removing the ribbon cable that goes to the button board. Well, it came out fast. There's no lock. It's held in place by its own pressure. The second step here seems to be disconnecting the fans, so let's do this. I'm glad they chose to use standard fans, so it should be easy to fix. It's probably in place for 20 or plus years, so I'm not surprised it's not easy to remove. One is out. There is a small lock here, so if you're one of the 20 people still using this monitor, alright, I don't think there is nothing holding this metal chute back in place, so let's see if you can pull it up. Oh yep, it's out. Whoa. We don't need to go much further to already find interesting things. So here, where the 2 fans are connected, you can see 2 unused markings on the board. So probably the original design called for 4 fans. I don't think a $20,000 monitor at the time, or 14 or 20 or a lot of dollars, would have, you know, cost-saving features. So probably they found out late in the project that the monitor doesn't get so hot and you don't need to use the extra 2, you know, fans. Probably they had the boards made. The second interesting thing is those two things here look like huge processes. So the display had tons of processing time. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to look at the engineering reference, you know, before coming to conclusions. Yeah, but looks like two processors, one driving each half of the display. This monitor requires processing power because there is like refresh rate upscaling or up change, I don't know how to say, but you know, if you have a 14 Hertz input, it's gonna be sent to the display at 41 Hertz or 48 depending on the model that you have. So this process probably handle based on the inputs. And there's also more intelligence in this because if you're using a single DVI connection, it's gonna drive the whole display at 14 Hertz. So they have to communicate to each other, and there is a lot of logic going behind it. This board here is probably I'm not sure if it's not an inverter, but it probably powers the backlight. I know the display has a lot of, you know, small lamps that you can see from the side. I can show that maybe later on my ViewSonic, and there is, you know, lots of cables here or plugs connected to this board, so it probably handles electricity. We will try to, you know, see the power input, where it goes, and try to find it out, but that should be it. And also has a warning here of 1800 volts, so that should be driving the panel. Here you can see the first. So this ribbon cable here is driving the lower half of the display. This other ribbon cable here, let me focus it, drives the other lower half, so a quarter, and there are two more on the top, here and here. There is also this white ribbon cable, two here and more two on the bottom, and I don't know what they do. Like, it could be power, could be signal. I'm not sure the documents I have are so detailed to answer the question. If you know, please leave comments. Now here, where the power and signal connectors are, well, it's hosted underneath this box here, and let's see if I can take it out on a smaller screwdriver. There's really nothing in here, it's just a shield. A few more interesting bits. The board says IBM monitor, whatever, IF card, probably interface card, made in Japan, and I wonder whether the ViewSonic will also say the same thing on the board, right? Here we have a microchip processor. It's socketed, so it can probably be replaced, and that's probably one of the differences between the earlier models and the later ones. That's something that I could also evaluate by taking apart the ViewSonic, although I'm not very sure I want to do that. Here we can see this huge chip, and I will need to Google what it is doing, but again, we'll find it out. And there should be another board actually underneath this one, so let's get to it. The screws are beautiful, they are golden. If I throw all of this away, I'm surely keeping up the screws, something I build in the future. This is totally loose. Whoa. So let's lift the board. Underneath there is much more than I was hoping to see. There seems to be a lot of, this should could be memory actually. I know this device has memory. Some resin glue here keeping the wire in place, and 2 ribbon cables made in Japan connecting another board to the display controller. So we can take this out somehow, I hope. Yeah, it comes out quite easily. 1, 2. In an otherwise very symmetric board, we have these 2 chips here that are positioned sideways and not aligned with the 2 equivalent ones on the bottom. I'm not sure the camera can show you the bottom. Yeah, it can show you. So you can see here the lower ones and the upper ones are not aligned, and also the ribbon cables where it goes on the board is not centralized, and the whole board is not centralized on the back of the display. That's most probably to make space for the power board, but it's interesting anyway. I guess they managed to make the display smaller this way. I'm not sure I'm gonna remove this board from here. Oh, I will. I'm taking it apart. I'm never gonna turn this on anyway. Again, there's a jumper board here. It has markings marked with J, so it's probably jumpers. Or maybe not, who knows. And tons of ribbon cables that go to the display. So let's start removing them. Underneath this ribbon cable here, there's something that's cool even today. You don't see very often on the back of the display or in its board. It wasn't heard of in 2001. When in 2004 or 5 I found out this monitor exists, I was blown away. 9 megapixels. And today I still don't have a 9 megapixels monitor besides this one, and most people don't have it. This monitor is fantastic still. But well, to the point, the board says 9 megapixels made in Japan. You don't see things made in Japan anymore so much, and this is just a very unique piece of equipment. Well, that was for nothing. There's nothing underneath, but we did it. So that was the first part of this video, of this series. I'm gonna next time show you, or try to find out on Google, the most I can about all the components that are, part of these boards. I know some from the engineering manual. I'm gonna have to write a script actually. This video is unscripted. But then I should be able to tell you all about it, and for me, this is my favorite piece of computer equipment. It's a great display up to this day, great tech, fully programmable. You already know from my other videos why I love this so much. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this one, and you're going to enjoy the next one. Thank you, and see you next time.